Good afternoon, collectives, and welcome back to Will's Cartomancy Tarot. If you're new to my channel, I certainly appreciate both your viewership as well as your subscriptions, okay? We're going to continue on with our fertility conception discussion here, and the topic that I'm going to address today with you guys is that this reading is more suitable for those of you who may have pursued in vitro fertilization either one time or perhaps you may have done it several times, but unfortunately, you have not yet um, found the success that many of you have been seeking here. So, with that said, this reading is going to address today, I'm going to address 9 important questions here. First, we're going to start off with, does this, ladies and gentlemen, feel different or more hopeful, or this time here? Okay. And again, this reading will be is valid until the end of this year, so it covers this entire span here. Your next, the next discussion question is that should you have a break before trying, or perhaps going on holiday, or just simply get to know your partner as lovers again? The third question is, are you or should you really strive for peak fitness, ladies and gentlemen, before trying anything again, or not only physically, but just being a little bit more active here? Because of course, this process that you've been kind of going through has proven to be rather stressful. The fourth question that we're going to look at is, should you use alternative methods such as perhaps medication or visualization of your infant, crystals before doing treatment to kind of give yourself a more calm approach or a calmer approach here? Okay. The fifth question that we're going to try to look at or tackle is, should you go for in vitro fertilization this time without having expectations, or opening yourself to nature and destiny, really kind of, ladies and gentlemen, letting the baby come, if you will? The sixth question that we're going to look at is that, can or should you keep trying regardless of whether this attempt succeeds or fails? Okay. The seventh question that we're going to address here is that, are you happy with your present treatment or clinic, or should you seek a new center, of excellence? The eighth question that we're going to examine is, should you stop trying altogether now and really open yourself a bit more to the cosmo or destiny and nature? If this child is really meant to be here. Because understand, ladies and gentlemen, that miracles certainly do happen. And last but not least, do you really have a good chance of, you know, being successful, with this process? Okay, so I'm gonna go on and just shuffle up this, um, the what's next, what's next tarot cards here, just to flip up a few cards here, just to see how, just to address these discussion points. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, this reading may not resonate for each and every one of you out there, but for those for whom this reading is meant, I certainly hope that it does, in fact, offer you the guidance that you're seeking here, and so that you can make your best informed decision, okay? So, aside from me dropping most of the cards here, I'm going to reshuffle up again and see what messages that Spirit has for you. Okay, let's see here. All right. Let's start, ladies and gentlemen, by just looking at the card falling to the bottom of the deck here. And actually, I actually selected, I'm pulling two cards here. We have both the Hangman and we have the Empress here. Okay? So, starting with the Hangman, it certainly seems, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm feeling that many of you are kind of really neutral on whatever it is that you want to do in making this decision. You haven't yet, I'm kind of getting, really made up your mind, I'm kind of feeling here. Because the hangman is upside down here. All right? And this card tends to keep you in limbo, you know? You are neither here nor there, I'm kind of feeling. And I feel that this card tends to change your perspective on matters. And it really causes you to really adapt to your current situation, as it is kind of is, But it certainly shows your attempt to really kind of break away from traditions here, okay? You also would notice that with this what's next card, with these cards here, it always shows what comes next. Is they're called the after tarot, actually. So you see that despite you being upside down, it certainly shows that a wise counsel or someone is gonna, give you the advice you need to move you forward in your situation here. Okay. It also shows, ladies and gentlemen, that many of you are kind of making some type of attempt to be a bit more flexible here with your decision, but understand that this card is still calling for you to make a decision here. And then we have the Empress here. So it shows that certainly you do have the ability here because the Empress, right? It represents the archetype mother here, So it shows that success can certainly be attained here that I'm getting here with just looking at those, cards at the bottom of the deck. But it looks like, again, that many of you you're not really, you're kind of neutral on the whole situation here. Some of you may be kind of feeling a bit frustrated because it's been taking extremely too long for these things to happen here. And certainly it costs a lot of money here. Okay. So let's move on to your second question. Okay. Should you have a break before trying or go on a holiday or get to know, your potential lover again here? All right. So what we have here with this card here, we have judgment. Okay. So that is also a resounding yes card here. And I'm feeling that many of you, you're going to certainly have a wake up call with this judgment card. Okay. Because this card it includes considering past actions. And of course, in your case, how with, really how you've been kind of pursuing this matter, this in vitro fertilization matter. But again, I can't stress it enough. A decision is required, but you must embrace whatever might have transpired before that I'm seeing here. All right. I feel that it looks like that you'll feel different. I feel that you're gonna do. It looks like different type of treatment again because this is all about a new beginning or a new direction, as well as healing too. That this card is suggesting. Okay. So let's move right along and examine your third question. Are you or should you strive for peak fitness before really trying again here? Not only physically, but if the whole process has, it seems to me that for many of you, it has proved to be a bit, I'm getting a bit stressful, I'm getting. And what we have here, actually, we're going to just take a step back here. I think I missed one of my questions. With just adding further to what I've indicated to you with whether you should take a break here. I'm kind of getting here because you have this higher font. I wanted to pull another card here just to, get a bit more information here. So the answer is a clearly yes. Because with that higher font, it's going to give you more time to really, make an attempt to really evaluate your situation. Because again, it shows that there's a strong chance of you sustaining a more committed type relationship. Okay, so what you have to do, I'm kind of getting here, is that you're gonna have to do what really feels right for you, because some of you might need to seek professional advice here that I'm getting, with the what I've indicated from the onset, because this card also represents a counselor of some sort or a potential specialist, even a spiritual counselor for many of you that I'm seeing here. All right. So now let's get into the third question here is that are you or should you strive for peak fitness before really trying again, not only physically, but if the whole process, ladies and gentlemen, has proven a bit stressful. And you have the star card there. So of course that's a resounding yes card. And it shows that if you do attempt to make some efforts in that direction, success is in fact certainly within your reach here. Okay. It also shows too that this card is all about hope. It's all about healing. Okay. And it's all about faith in the future, even blessings that tends to come from above. So it's a very positive omen here that's kind of suggesting that. Okay. Let's move on to your fourth question here. Should you use alternative methods such as medication, visualization of your infant, crystals before and during treatment to kind of give you a calm approach here? So the card selected that we have here is temperance. So usually this card is usually a yes card, and but it can sometimes be neutral from what I have experienced here. So it says that it depends here. It depends on what you would want to do, but it certainly shows that a radical change, it's certainly ahead. But it's also asking you to kind of find some type of a balance, ladies and gentlemen, particularly with how you are, thinking about the situation and your reaction to it. Okay. Now let's go on to our next question here. Should you go for in vitro fertilization this time, ladies and gentlemen, without expectations, opening yourself to nature and destiny, really, kind of letting the baby, come, if you will? We have the sun here, and isn't it strange here that we do have the symbolism here shows because, again, this is the next. It shows what comes next. So some of you might even have twins, you know? So this card is certainly, once again, a resounding net. Yes, it connects with fire signs once again. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. So it's all about achievement. It's all about success, ladies and gentlemen. Improvement. Happy times to come here. And it seems very plausible that many of you will be, in fact, taking some type of trip soon so that you can get more of an understanding of what it is that you really want here. Okay? So let's move right along to your next question. Can or should you keep trying regardless of whether the attempts, have succeeded or they fail here? Okay? And for this, ladies and gentlemen, you have the strength card here. So this card is telling you really it's all about never really giving up. Okay? It shows you that you certainly still have the strength to kind of to get through. This card is associated with fire element. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and it shows that you can certainly learn a lot from this process. And it's going to give you the courage, to kind of get through this. And also, ladies and gentlemen, this is also to let you know that you're not alone. You do, in fact, as the card here says, strength. You have the strength to overcome anything. Okay? And this card, again, is going to make you feel a bit more confident about yourself. I'm kind of getting. All right? So now let's look at your next question here. Are you happy with your treatment or clinic, or have you been happy with, your treatment or clinic, or should you kind of seek a new center that I'm kind of getting here? And you have the devil cards here, so you already know what that answer is associated with Earth. So it shows that many of you have not been happy with perhaps your current treatment or the facility. So this is a good sign that it's time that you find another facility here. Okay? Because perhaps that facility or the people with whom you come in contact, they were a bit controlling or domineering, so much so that you weren't able to get the results that you went there for. Okay? Or there could have been problems, constantly ongoing problems with various expenses that you are required to pay. appears to have been a more of a no-win type situation I'm getting from many of you. Okay? So let's go on to our next question. Should you stop trying altogether now and really open yourself up to, the cosmos, destiny, and nature if this child is really meant to be for you guys? And you have to understand that certainly, ladies and gentlemen, miracles certainly do happen. Okay? And you have the high priestess. So this card is it's pretty much a resounding yes card, and it definitely tells you it's associated with water signs, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. It's time that you really trust your intuitive faculties a bit more, particularly during this time span in question. And for some of you, you might even need to really consider seeking advice when needed. All right. So let's look at your last question here. Do you have a good chance, this time or during this time period in question? Okay. And the card that we have here is the Hermit. Okay. And with the Hermit here, this card is associated or connected with earth signs. And it really depends, ladies and gentlemen, because as I said from the onset here, because you are kind of stuck in limbo here with the energies coming in. With the Hermit, it tells you that before making a decision, you might want to consider withdrawing from the situation or just get this off of your mind because this is more neutral. You know, it shows here that perhaps you need to really take some time away from the situation to really discern, ladies and gentlemen, your best path forward. I'm getting to really figure out, you know, really whatever it is that you guys really want here. Again, I have to stress you have to consider what's best for you here. Consider all ramifications before attempting to make any type of haphazard decisions. Okay? So this seems like it was fairly good reading here, ladies and gentlemen. And in conclusion, what I like to do is just to leave you with another message here from Spirit here using these postcards. Just give you something else additional to think about as you move forward here. Okay, so Spirit, what additional messages would you like me to share with collectives here? Okay. All right. Here's a postcard, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to read it as it is written, okay? Dearest you, there are times when loss is part of life. Sometimes a loss is welcome, like when you leave a situation not in alignment with your highest good. Sometimes a loss is sudden and painful, like when a loved one crosses over to our dimension. Regardless of the nature of the loss and your control over it, your experience is asking to be acknowledged. Tears are necessary, as is grief. When you repress the natural expression of loss and try to move on too quickly, the unprocessed pain haunts you in destructive ways. We don't want that for you. Instead, let your heart break open wide. Feel the loss and integrate it. See the beauty that was, the lessons learned, and know that as you let go of what has passed, ever more of you remains. It gets better, we promise. Your heart expands with more compassion for the world than ever before. Love heals all. We are loving you, sending you love always and forever. Okay? So, collectives, this is what I have for you. I certainly hope that this reading has offered you the information that many of you are seeking. Okay? Be sure to like and share, ladies and gentlemen, and subscribe if you've yet to subscribe. If you'd like to have more of a personal reading, you can certainly contact me at will.brown@watconsultinginc.net. Enjoy your evening, and I definitely look forward to hearing your comments. Thanks a lot.